actually what happened, that the Supreme Court interprets the laws according to its own agenda, even if the law is totally against the ruling of the court, it doesn't make any difference, because they rule according to their views, ideals, and opinions, not according to the law. They are not bound by the law, and this is the problem. And this process already started 25 years ago in a very small issue, marginal between one company and one bank. And the company had the point, but the Supreme Court at that time, the president, Aaron Barak, decided that the law is wrong, and he ruled against the law, and he issued a whole essay about his ability and the permission which he has as a judge to rule against the law. And this is actually how this court behaves until this very day. I'll give you a good example. The basic law of the Knesset forbids anyone who is against the fact that this country is Jewish and democratic, bans him from running to the Knesset. Means if you published articles, if you said in interviews that you oppose the being of the state of the Jewish people, and it should be democratic as well, you cannot run to the Knesset. There is a rule like this. But again and again, since 1996, there is a party, one of the Arab parties, which clearly, openly, explicitly calls to abolish the nature of the country as a Jewish and democratic state. And yet, every time and again, the Supreme Court allows this party to run to the Knesset against the law. And every time they invent different excuses for this. So, and the Supreme Court allowed itself to judge against the law. Not only this, as you know, there is, since last year, a basic law which is parallel to the Constitution, a basic law of the nation state. This state is a state of the Jewish people, and so forth. Some people appealed to the Supreme Court against this constitutional law, and the court did not kick them out. Yes, I think at some point this year, later, the court will actually discuss a basic law, which is in the status of a constitution. Excuse me? What? The Supreme Court is above the Constitution? Yes, according to what they think. Although there is no law in the Knesset, no law which enables and allows the Supreme Court to think or to even to judge against the law. But that's what they think, that they are allowed to do anything only because they are enlightened. This is how Aaron Barak phrased it. He rules according to the views of the enlightened men. And since he said it, everybody knows who he thinks the enlightened man is, means himself. Yeah. And who are the darkened people? All the others, or at least all the others who do not agree with him. And this is actually what runs this country. A small sliver of the society which considers itself as illuminati, means the enlightened, while all the others are in the darkness. They don't see the truth, they don't see the reality. Therefore, the Supreme Court allows itself to do whatever it likes according to the opinion of the enlightened people who sit there.
Don't you think it's because we don't in Israel, we don't really have an actual formal constitution, therefore we don't really have a real separation of powers. Let's say, for example, in America, so then there's no check on the Supreme Court. You can't, you know what I mean? I mean, they have limits, that you have to retire at 70. Like in America, these people would just keep going. Here in Israel, you have to retire at a certain age, and then the next person comes in.
Look, we do in Israel have some situation which does not occur in the States. For example, the prime minister should be a Knesset member. In the States, it cannot be because there is a clear separation between the legislative and the executive.
Tricameral.
Here in Israel, by law, the prime minister is or should be or cannot be otherwise than a Knesset member. Means there is some kind of a conjunction between the legislative council, the Knesset, and the government. So to say that Israel is totally with separation of authorities as it is in the United States, it's not true. Because here we do have some connections between the, okay, but what happened with the Supreme Court is definitely something which unheard of globally, and there is no democracy in the whole world which is run by a small group of oligarchy of people who think that they know everything while all the others know nothing.